Okay, so direct object, what's the formula for finding a direct object? We took some notes yesterday.
Subject.
So, what is the formula? Leah?
Subject plus action verb plus whom or what equals direct object.
Perfect. So first you find the subject of the sentence, then you find the verb, make sure it's an action verb, and then ask who or what, and that is your direct object. So you just watched the video where they were doing that exact same thing. Okay? Then indirect object, let's do a little review of indirect object. How do you find an indirect object? Ariam.
It's usually in front of the direct object, but if you do subject plus action verb, and you could find the direct object and see what's affecting the direct object. It would be the indirect object. So that doesn't make sense.
What's in front of it? Well, you have to ask a question.
So who, what? Oh, that's mine. What about?
Equals your indirect object. And then what I like to do, you couldn't really do this on your notes. Well, actually you could, but I couldn't type it. This to whom or for whom has to like come right in here. Right? It has to be between the verb and the direct object. Because if it comes after the direct object, it's going to be something else that we're going to talk about today. It's going to be called an object of a preposition. Okay, so I do have one of these quick little videos on indirect objects to doing the same thing, and maybe we'll kind of read it as it goes. Kelly, do you want to hit the light over there? This, oh, I don't need to read that. The indirect object, someone else can read if you want to. Tired of hearing my voice. To find, who wants to read it?
To find the indirect object, you must first locate a direct object. The direct object equals subject plus verb plus what or who. Leonardo offered a flower. Leonardo's the subject, offers the verb. Leonardo offered what? A flower. Direct object.
So this is a review of direct objects,
Chef Henry
right?
baked a cake. Chef Henry is the subject, bakes the verb. What did he bake? He baked the cake.
These sentences are so not like long.
Darren passes the ball. Passed. Right, son. What did Darren pass? The ball. The ball.
Oh, I like that dog.
These sentences are so small.
The new puppy causes problems.
Oh.
Puppy causes what? Puppy causes problems.
Good job.
I like his wrinkles. They're
This is my old dog tied up in a chain on the back.
The indirect object equals whoever or whatever hits the direct object.
Candace is uncomfortable.
Leonardo offered Melissa a flower.
Melissa is terrified.
Then what's the direct? Melissa gets the flower.
So she's the indirect object.
She does not.
Melissa might give Leonardo.
Melissa's trying to get away from this.
Well, Melissa's a jerk.
Might give is the verb. Kiss is the direct object.
Leonardo. Oh. Maybe.
Oh, come on.
That is cute.
Quiet, everybody.
Chef Henry baked
Jim.
Jim a cake. Chef Henry's the subject, makes the verb. What did he make? He makes a cake. Gets the cake. Jim gets his cake.
So that's the indirect object.
Oh.
That's all
Me too.
Mine. All mine.
That's pretty good.
Whoa.
Oh,
No, it's my own.
Wow.
Aaron passes Joshua the ball.
Joshua?
Aaron's the subject. What did he do? He passed the ball to who? He passed the ball to Joshua.
Who gets the ball?
Me.
Joshua.
Howie should never get
That's Joshua is the indirect object.
Oh, the cute puppy.
Oh,
It's a
great
puddle.
The new puppy causes my sister problems. The puppy
Your sister had problems before.
What does the puppy cause?
Sister.
Which is
Who
the direct
receives the
object.
product?
Dog, the puppy caused the sister.
My
Who's coming to playing
sister.
soccer?
Kill anyone who gets in the way of Whoa.
Sister is the indirect object. All right, we are gonna.
The indirect
Oh.
object is a what, not a who.
I'm really worried about Melissa's relationship with that dude.
Yeah.
Rebecca gives Rebecca a bath.
Looks like she's like flying. Don't make
Oh,
sure
God.
start up the car.
Rebecca gives what? A bath. Who
I
receives
think
the
she's
bath?
flying. How are the clouds?
What receives the bath?
What?
The car. Car is an indirect object.
Words in
All right.
by Robert L. Simmons.
Amazing.
Isn't this number two?
Can we rewatch it?
No.
I think we should go home.
Yeah.
All right. So that is a quick review, or maybe not so quick review, of direct objects and indirect objects. And today we're going to try to go over the next two things on that page, grammar page, where nouns are acting like objects, but they're two other different kinds of objects. We have an object of a preposition, and we have object complements, which I think is the most difficult of the objects. So I guess I'm going to turn this off, and you should take out your Voyages book, and I think we were on page 8. We'll double check that. Yeah, we were page 8. And since we already did direct objects and indirect objects, we're going to skip down to the third highlighted paragraph, which is object of preposition. And let's first read it. It says, a noun can be the object of a preposition when it follows a preposition, such as in, into, on, to, by, for, from, with, or without. In this sentence, ceramics is the object of the preposition in. It answers the question, what did I take a class in? So I took a class in ceramics there. So in is a preposition, ceramics is the noun that follows in, so it is an object of a preposition. So let me do it this way for you. You know some of those sentences that we had that had indirect objects? If we flipped the indirect object to the end of the sentence, it would become an object of a preposition. So, if I said, let's see, let's do this. Mrs. Sirik gave the class homework. Okay? What is the subject of that sentence?
Miss Sirik.
What? Mrs. Sirik is the subject of the sentence. What is the verb?
Gave.
Gave. Okay, so Mrs. Sirik is the subject. Gave is the verb. Is gave an action verb?
Yeah.
Okay. So we know it's an action verb. Mrs. Sirik gave what?
Homework.
Homework. So what's homework then?
Direct object.
Okay. She gave homework is a direct object. Okay. Mrs. Sirik gave homework to whom?
The class.
To the class. So what is class?
Indirect object.
Indirect object. Awesome. You guys have that down. Now, let's say I flip it around and because you can say it this way too, and this is correct too. Mrs. Sirik gave homework to the class. Does that make sense? Is that a good sentence? Is that a good sentence?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's perfectly grammatically correct. It's just a different way to say it, right? Now, what's the subject?
Miss Sirik.
Mrs. Sirik. What's the verb?
Gave.
Gave. Is it an action verb?
Yeah.
Yep, it's an action verb. Mrs.
Gave is the
Sirik
verb.
gave what?
Action verb. Yeah.
Homework. So what is homework?
Direct object.
Direct object. To whom?
Class.
To the class. Okay. So we have the exact same answer. Is this an indirect object here?
Yeah.
Nope. Why not?
It's after the.
An object of
Exactly. It has to be in between the verb and the direct object. So this way, it's not an indirect object. This now is an object of a preposition because it's following a preposition. It's in a prepositional phrase. What's the preposition in this sentence? To. This is a preposition. Do you guys remember? Prepositional phrases start with a preposition, end with a noun, and that noun, so you go all the way till, you hit a noun. That noun is the object of the preposition.
What if there's two nouns? Do we do both of them, or do we do the
Yeah,
first
if
one?
it to the class, or what if I guess I could say, to the 7th graders and the 8th graders, then 7th graders and 8th graders would both be objects of prepositions. It would be a compound object of a preposition. Okay? So basically what you have to know about objects of prepositions is they end prepositional phrases. Okay? So you have a prepositional phrase that starts with a preposition and ends with a noun. The noun or nouns that end a prepositional phrase are objects of prepositions. Okay, so you need a little review on prepositions. What are prepositions? Give me some. We already know We already said to. We already said, what was our example here? In. Can you guys shout out some prepositions?
Out.
Over.
With.
He went over the box.
Out.
Through.
Through.
From.
On.
Someone say on.
Under.
From.
In. Under.
Under.
Aside.
By.
Aside.
Into.
By. Into.
We could go on and on.
Onto.
I don't want to hurt you.
Onto.
Around.
Is onto a word? Around. Okay. So 2 ways to kind of remember them. This is a review for you. But yeah, like you guys said, we could keep going. Oh, I'm gonna put 4. This is 2.
He went. Oh, the dog went for the.
Okay. Is anywhere a cat can go. So a cat can go under a bed, over the bed,
For the.
through the window. Okay, anywhere a cat can go. Or if you use this sentence, the dog ran blank the crowd.
Dog ran
Through.
for the crowd.
Okay, any word that fits in there is probably a preposition.
Excitingly.
No.
That doesn't make sense. The
Oh.
dog ran excitedly the crowd. No. The dog ran through the crowd. The dog ran toward the crowd. The dog ran
Because.
under the crowd. The dog ran inside the crowd. The dog ran over the crowd. The dog ran to the crowd. Okay? The only one, there is a word. See if you guys remember this. There is a word that's always a preposition that doesn't work here. There's one for sure.
But.
Of.
The
Of
ran
is
of.
always a preposition, okay?
The ran of the dog.
So if you come up with a phrase that starts with a preposition and it will end with a noun, that noun that ends that phrase is your object of a preposition. Okay? All right. Let's take a peek at page 9, number 12. Let's do some of those out loud. Name the object of a preposition in each sentence. Page 9, number 12. Okay, Ariam, number 12.
Mr. Sussex organized the, how do I say his name? Susan. Try to say Susan. Mr. Susan organized the field trip for the art students. So Mr. Susan is the subject, the action is the verb is organized. So and then it'd be organized what? Organized a trip. That'll be the direct object, and the indirect object is art students. No, it would be the object of preposition of students.
Students is the object of the preposition because you have for the art students. You have a prepositional phrase, okay? And at the end, the noun at the end of the prepositional phrase is your object of a preposition. Okay? All right, number 13. 13. Come on, guys. Jameson.
The exposition includes works by famous photographers. Was amazing, fascinating.
So since we know we're looking for objects of the preposition, let's just see if you can find a preposition and then the noun that ends the phrase is the object of the preposition.
By object as the preposition and photographers.
Yeah, photographers is the object of the preposition. By famous photographers. It ends the phrase.
Photograph.
Okay, 14. Lily.
An image of a quiet lake was my favorite photo. The subject
do this. Let's see if you can find a prepositional phrase in there.
Okay,
That's the best classes ever.
Of is a preposition. Yep. What's the whole prepositional phrase then?
quiet, literally.
Of a quiet lake. Yep. So what, because your prepositional phrase is going to go all the way to a noun, right? So then what is the object of the preposition?
The photo.
What?
The photo.
No, it's going to be within that phrase, of a quiet lake. It's going to finish that phrase, the noun that finishes that phrase, lake. So lake is your object of the preposition. All right, 15. Leah.
The picture showed water evaporating in the sunlight, in sunlight.
So tell me what those are.
In is the preposition and sunlight's the object of preposition.
Yep, so in the sunlight is the prepositional phrase. Sunlight is the noun that ends that phrase, so that is the object of the preposition. Okay? Okay. Are you guys good
Sure.
with that? Object of a preposition? All right, let's go on to object complement. Look again at page 8. It says a noun can be an object complement, just as a subject complement renames the subject. An object complement renames the direct object. In this sentence, pot is the direct object. The noun masterpiece is an object complement that renames pot. So I called my first ceramic pot a masterpiece. Okay? So an object complement is always going to come after the direct object. Okay, after the direct object, and it's going to rename the direct object. Okay? Some comment, so the masterpiece is the same thing as the pot, right? We're talking about the same thing. So some common verbs that take object complements are appoint, call, consider, choose, elect, make, and name. So let's look at 16 through 19. Everyone declared the field trip an enjoyable experience. So you may want to find your direct object, and then you look for a noun that comes after it that is talking about the same thing. Okay, Nathan, do number 16.
Everyone declared the field trip an enjoyable experience. Object complement enjoyable.
No, that is an adjective that's going to describe the object complement.
So experience.
Yeah. So the field trip and the experience are the same thing. Talking about the same thing. And you would find the subject would be would be everyone. The verb would be declared. Declared what? Trip. And then that's your direct object. And then experience is the same thing. Thank you for doing that, Nathan. Number 17. Jameson.
To express our thanks, we appointed Ed's spokesperson. Ed is the object complement.
No. So what is the subject? We. What's the verb?
Appointed
We appointed who?
Ed.
Ed's the direct object. Spokesperson is the object complement. It comes after Ed. It renames Ed. It's the same person. All right, 18. Graydon.
The class considers Mr. Susik a good teacher. Class is a subject. Considers is a verb, and Mr. Susik is the direct object, and then teacher is object of preposition.
Not object of a preposition. The next
Object
one.
complement.
Object complement. Perfect. All right, and 19. 19. One more person. Tommy.
Makes history an exciting topic. History is a direct object, and topic is the object complement.
Great. History is the direct object. He makes what? He makes history. History is a direct object. And topic comes after it and renames history. So that is the object complement. Any questions on that? All right. So for homework, I would just like you to complete the rest of your practice book, page 7.
Don't say it. Please don't say it. Please don't say it.
Oh, wow.
Please don't say it.
I want you to I want you to finish the rest of page 7, and then I just want you to do 1 through 12 on page 8. You do not have to do 13 through 16, but practice book page 7, 15 to 21, and then page 8, 1 through 12. Okay?